Welcome and hugging. This is me, Hanna, and against all odds, I find myself here in Tokyo studying art. In this podcast, I'll talk about all things Japan, but also the daily existential crisis of being a broke student with no future in sight yet. Hope you enjoy. Yes, welcome. I'm actually quite new to this podcast game, but I thought about making a podcast when I moved to, when I knew that I was moving to Japan, because I was like, wow, what a great idea to just also, one, A, keep all the memories, and B, also just record for myself and for anyone who's interested in my journey or anything, because I feel like for the first time in my life, I actually have things to talk about and things I want to share with people. I hope also the audio quality is okay. I'm trying to talk a bit more silently because the walls are really, really thin here and I really don't want to bother all my neighbors all day or all night long. So that's why. And also I'm sorry for all of my language mistakes, or also if there's an awkward silence or if I spin the words awkwardly, because this is my first time trying myself at podcast. I feel like the lighting isn't ideal, right? I'm really sorry. I really need to buy some lights or just adjust stuff because my face is kind of red and everything else is just brightened out and everything. But yeah, we are only going up from here, so that's why we're going to start low budget. And to anyone who's just listening, this is also a video format podcast, so you can come over to my YouTube as well and watch it. I'll link it in the show notes, or if you're only here for the audio version, that's fine as well. I don't judge. I'm happy that anybody's listening after all. Because hi, this is me, and this is the first episode of my podcast, Hugging, where I talk about all things Tokyo, Japan, and also my struggles here, living as a student, budget and stress, but I also just don't want to limit myself to that. I basically just want to talk. And does this seem lonely that I'm talking to myself at night in the middle of Tokyo? Kind of has a lonely ring to it, doesn't it? But maybe if listening to it, then it means that I'm not alone, you know? And yes, but maybe if you're listening to this, then it means that I'm not alone, so I should be okay. Actually, in this first episode, I want to talk about just my first few days here and arriving in Tokyo and the flight and stuff, because believe me or not, I'm the perfect person to start a podcast in that way, because my life is kind of crazy. I have natural born unluck, not luck. I don't remember the English word for it right now, but I'm really unlucky. It's not a joke. I'm really unlucky. And you might be like, oh, well, everybody's unlucky sometimes. Well, let me tell you about my first few days here, because unlucky doesn't even begin to describe it. Well, I'm sure there are people who had worse experiences, and everything's fine now. So I guess this is a happy end story. But in a way, for me, it was a lot. So I flew from Munich, and that meant a 12-hour flight to Tokyo. It was a direct flight, thankfully, so and the flight also went really well. Actually, on the flight, I got to know my seat neighbor, because he was also going to Tokyo to study. But he's not studying art, he's studying what was he saying, language in Okinawa, because he has family there. So that was really interesting, and we talked half the flight about all our hobbies, and because we were really similar in a way, we had the same hobbies and stuff, and he also listened to the same podcast and the same shows, so it was really quite fun. The flight really went well. I couldn't sleep as much as I hoped to, because the ideal way would be you sleep on the flight, because we arrived at 8 a.m. in the morning, so that I kind of balance out my jet lag. Spoiler, that didn't happen. I am still jet lagged. This is my fourth day here now, but it's slowly getting better. The first night I woke up at I think 1 a.m. and then stayed awake until 4 or 5 a.m. and fell asleep for a few more hours. And the second night I woke up then at 3 a.m. and then this night I woke up at 5 a.m. So my jet lag is slowly creeping towards the end, and I guess it should be fine after tonight or tomorrow night. But yeah, jet lag is a thing, and I'm not exempt from it. But yeah, that was just arriving in Tokyo. So I was really clearly overtired, but also I wasn't tired at all. My whole senses were just buzzing, because I've been dreaming of this since I was 11 and watching Inuyasha for the first time. Going to Japan and seeing all these things for myself, and going to Tokyo of all cities. And now I'm here on to study. This is amazing. This is all I could have hoped for, even after the corona pandemic. Nobody even thought that it would be possible to get into Tokyo again. I remember when I applied for my exchange semester, my guidance counselor, she directly told me don't apply, you're not gonna get into Tokyo. It's gonna be very hard to get the exchange spot, because we only have one for our university, and B, you don't even know if the borders open up by then, corona, how it's gonna go. So it was basically testing my luck there, and that was the one time my luck actually grabbed, and I went over there, and now I'm here, obviously. Well, I made the decision that from Haneda Airport, I wanted to get to my apartment. Well, not apartment. I live in this like shared apartment complex with other like people, students, like people of various nationalities, ages, and jobs or degrees here. And we all share like bathrooms and kitchens, and it's a lot of people in the house, which is kind of nice because you see some people in the hallway, and we're also having like a welcome party on Sunday, which I'm excited for. So I get to actually meet all the people that live here. But everybody's been really nice so far. Anyway, I'm drifting off again from the story. So the story is I'm at Haneda Airport. I need to get to where I'm at now. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to go by taxi because that's really expensive and I'm going to save coin wherever I can. So, also I'm sorry for background sounds because I just remembered like my refrigerator just went on. Yes, well, we're also going to have to deal with that. Anyway, again, so I was at the airport and I was like, okay, public transportation it is. And there's like the Tokyo line that goes directly to Tokyo. It's like a train. So I went on that first and that went well. Like I bought the ticket and there was only one kind of ticket to buy. And that all went well. And I think I like went until Nishinipori station or Tokyo station, something like that. And then I had to change trains 2 times. So the first time actually went really well. I had to just add some fare to my ticket and I did that. And then I transferred the trains, and thankfully because the trains come like every few minutes here, there's like no delay or anything. And then the second time I had to transfer, everything didn't go so well because I again tried to adjust the fare of my ticket, but somehow the ticket wouldn't let me through. And like in Tokyo, when you go through the gate there with a ticket and it doesn't work, then immediately like next to my face, I was just standing here trying to get through this gate that was until like the next train. And next to my face, a window opens and like a Japanese officer is there and he's like talking to me in rapid Japanese. And I'm like, wakarimasen, ticket o imasu. So ich habe ein ticket. I've got a ticket. But yeah, he obviously like was trying to tell me that I have the wrong kind of ticket or the wrong kind of fare. Or I think I was even trying to enter the exit or something like that. So I was just in the wrong place. And then he just took me like outside the station and left me there. And there was another officer. She was like, oh, don't take her. But he was like, it's okay. She has a ticket. She paid and everything. And I was just confused by the whole situation. But then in the end, I was standing in front of the station and I was like, okay, I clearly have to get back into the station because I have to go on the train again. So it was actually quite funny because I bought another ticket. And I didn't buy a ticket then. Then I bought my Suica card, which is kind of like this amazing card that you can buy and you can use it at any station. I should have done that like at the first place, but I didn't. Because with the Suica card, you can just enter stations and it automatically calculates the fare that you need to pay. So I bought that then and re-entered the station. The look on the officer's face was also very confused, but I was confused as well, so we both were confused. So yeah, I re-entered the station, got on the train and got to my city. And from there on, everything actually went well. I walked to my place here, which was only like 10 minutes from the station. So it's very close, very handy. And I got into the place and everything. But yeah, this was, I think, the first reminder that I'm in another country now and that nobody will speak English with me. Because I thought, like, maybe Tokyo, some people at least know English. Up to this day, right now, and I've been here for 4 days, I've only met one person who can speak English, which is my house manager. And the house manager also only knows the basic, like sign this contract English, and everything else we did in Japanese. So that will tell you just Tokyo might be the biggest city in Japan, but it's still Japan, and people really don't like to speak English here. So when I entered the house and everything, I was kind of like, because I booked the house over the internet, which you do, as you do, you know. And I had this image in mind that this will be like the perfect kind of place. And it was just a bit more crappy than on the pictures. Like there's dots on the wall that it doesn't show you where mosquitoes were like died, which now I can actually sympathize with. In the beginning it was like, oh my god, this is so yuck, but I actually have like 30 mosquito bites on my legs right now. There are so many mosquitoes here. So now I am like, okay, if I add to these mosquito bites dots on the wall, please don't judge me, like that's just gonna happen. I guess I can understand that now. So yeah, but when I arrived I was just a bit down, like, oh, this is so ugly, and I felt kind of out of place and not really at home. And I feel like the first day is always a day where you realize, wow, it's just me here. Like, I don't know anybody in the city. I'm all by myself. Nobody speaks my language. And I just had like kind of a, not breakdown, but also realization at the same time. But then I had the realization as well that I'm not totally alone, because I have this friend from university. She's studying down like in, I think it's Kumamoto, where she's studying. So she was actually in Tokyo the day that I arrived and was staying until the day after that. So we met up the next day, the second day that I was here, which was honestly, I think she came like as a good sign from God or something, if I believe in that, because she helped me out so much and she calmed me down, and she was like, well, you're not totally alone, you've got me, and she's great at Japanese and communication, and she told me how to do all the stuff, because when you like move to Japan, you also have to register at the wards office and stuff, and there's a whole kind of document procedure, which is really hard because nobody speaks like English here, and I don't speak Japanese very well. Like I'm in 4 level maybe, if like all things get together. So I was really scared of all of these procedures, but she was like calming me down, telling me how I could do it, telling me the best way would be to find a Japanese friend fast, but I'm not that social. And I'm kind of scared to just ask random people to go to the wards office with me to do my documents. So I'd rather go alone and like embarrass myself by not speaking Japanese or something, I guess. But we had a great day in Tokyo. We went to like Shinjuku. And then also, where did we go? Harajuku as well. Oh my god, I saw that street so much on YouTube and in the television, and I was there in person, and I walked through that street, and I am still dissociating, if you like aren't aware by now, but it was crazy, and I'm honestly so grateful that this is an experience that is happening to me, I guess. So that day was great, other than the fact that we got bitten by 30 mosquitoes in like a little park there while we were eating. Oh my god, I'm just doing this to my legs all the time, because I know I shouldn't, but I can't. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but literally my legs are like, it seems like I have a rash or something, but it's not a rash, it's mosquito bites. Yeah. So the second day went quite well, and then I was like, okay, third day. Today we're going to the wards office. Hanna, ganbatte. Nihongo jozu. You're Nihongo jozu. You can speak Japanese. You will do this. And I walked to the wards office excited, but also very scared as well. So I entered the wards office, and these places in Japan do have like everything here, like an order and a way it should be done. Like there was this machine where you should obviously get a ticket, but I didn't know like what to press or what ticket to get, what number, how to get the number. So I was just awkwardly standing in the entrance until somebody came up to me, and then I was like in Japanese, like, I want to like register here at the wards office, and I also need to do national health insurance. And he was like, okay, wakarimashita. And he like gave me this form to fill out, where he was like, okay, you need to fill out this, and this. And you need to fill in this, and this. So at the beginning it was very easy. Like I filled in these things, and I came to him at the counter, and we sat down together and talked through the whole document. And it was fine until there was this one thing where he wanted me to make a check. But I didn't understand that it was just a simple check, and I didn't understand the kanji that was there in that place of the document, because it was like father, mother, child. And it was like, well, I'm not here with a mother or a father, and he doesn't want me to name my mother or my father right now, and I don't have a child. So I was always like, 0? Like, should I put like 0 or what? And then like he called somebody with his iPad, who was then our translator. So we had a translator person via iPad with us. And she explained to me that at that specific point, he was just making sure that I'm the head of my household here. Because in Japan, when you live alone, you need to check that you are the head of your household, that you're the person responsible for that. So that was basically the whole thing. But for the rest of it, we also went through it like with the translator, which was really helpful. And I'm just like, this is one way where the Japanese people might not be able to speak English, but they're always going to want to find a way to communicate with you, or to take time and find a solution together. And so I was sitting there like anxiously, and we went through everything. We also went through health insurance, and I got my health insurance card the same day as well. And then I had to wait for like an hour until my new residency card, my Zairyu card, had the address printed on it. And then I was good to go, and I was really happy. I also registered for the My Number system. So we did the whole spiel, and everything went well, and I'm just really glad. I was like going out of there like, wow, look at me with my basic Japanese going through these like hard procedures. Yeah, I was just very proud of myself, and I wanted to go like shopping and treat myself to a few things. Also anti-mosquito stuff, because I was like, I'm not gonna go out again without having my legs covered in anti like fly spray or something like that. So then we went to, like, I went shopping and it was really nice. And I was like, shopping here is a whole experience in itself. I could make like a whole like episode about that, because I am the kind of person who will stand like hours in a supermarket or store looking at everything, because it's just so amazing, like, that you can buy all these things. I sometimes think, wow, like humanity did that, I guess. And in one store, when I went to pay like at the cashier, it was actually a Daiso, I realized something. I realized I lost my wallet. Okay, this might sound like the craziest thing ever, but yes, I was standing at the cashier and I was like, wow, I lost my wallet. And I was panicking. I mean, you can imagine, in that wallet was everything, all the money that I had. There was my Zydio card, my health card, also German documents, like my credit card. There was everything in that wallet. And I had nothing suddenly, other than my phone. Luckily, my phone wasn't in the wallet, I guess. And my passport, which was at home. So I was freaking out. I was looking through the whole store, nothing. I went to the service counter, telling them, "Hey, I lost my wallet," and they were like, "Oh, we didn't find a wallet." And that was the moment where they were trying to then get like my number or like a way to help me, but I was just so done. I was standing there like near tears. I was still holding myself together at that point. And they were like, "Oh," like, again, there was a language barrier, and I couldn't really like try to say the things that I wanted to say, and they didn't really, like, they couldn't transport what they wanted to say to me. Like, they wanted me to leave my phone number. I was like, "Hey, I don't have a Japanese phone number. Is my German phone number also okay?" And they didn't understand that I just wanted to leave my German number, and that wasn't okay. And then I was like, mail address, but mail address wasn't okay for them. And then I just left my name, I guess. And then I just went, and then I like looked around a little bit more, and the lady came back to me and she was like, go to the police station. There's a police station nearby. In Japan, there are like these Koban, which are like small police boxes where there's officers in there who will help you with that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to go to the police now. And I went to the police to fill out like a form. And also there again, like, the language barrier was just always the tip of the iceberg. And I was just sitting there crying at that point, just saying like, my wallet is lost in Japanese and like my basic contact information. And they were like trying to communicate where, what, how. And we went through the whole formula, because there's like a form or document for everything here in Japan. And I filled it out, crying my eyes out, like I have nothing anymore. And I think the police officers were also kind of like, what are we going to do? They pulled out, those were the first ones that pulled out Google Translate and were like, okay, here's Google Translate. And they read out like Japanese, and not Japanese, English stuff for me through Google Translate. And I went home after that, like, just crying. And I was in like this kind of bad situation where I couldn't also cancel my credit card, because if I canceled it and if it was found, then I also had no like option to get to money in Japan. And obviously everything else was in my wallet. I just didn't know, like, I had no identification. Do I need to go through the whole registration process again that I went through that morning, which was so stressful as well? And I was like, I can't do this again tomorrow. If I have to do this again tomorrow, I'm going to melt through the floor, just for the fact alone that person there is going to think I'm going crazy. This stupid foreigner girl is there again to fill out the same documents. But yeah, you can see me laughing. This is because this all has a happy end. In the evening, I went back to the store, but they haven't found anything yet, so I went home and cried myself to sleep, as you do. And this morning, I did like a whole Japanese lesson, how to tell police officers that your wallet is lost. I guess, if anything, all of these situations are just great for studying Japanese. Like, I'm in these everyday situations suddenly where nobody understands me and I have to find a way to communicate. So I learned a lot of new words. Which I guess is a positive thing. Just the situation itself was a positive thing. And then this morning, or like at lunchtime, I guess, I went back to the store and they didn't find anything again. I was nearly like at my tears again. I went to the police station. They also didn't find anything again. They were different people there right there. And I told them like, okay, if you haven't found anything, I need to apply for a new residency card, because you have to carry one with you at all times in Japan. And I just suddenly didn't have one. And I was like, you need to give me a form so I can get a new residency card. And they said, okay, you need to go to this bigger police station in the next ward. And I went to that then. And there again, it was the whole trying to explain what happened. And they were looking through the like database, I guess. But then the officer came to me and he was like, oh, in this Koban, so a different one than the one that I went to before, they actually got your wallet. Like, somebody took it in. And I didn't understand at first because I didn't want to understand. And the person was just like, just go there now. And I was like, what, really? So I went to that Koban. I went back again. Like I did like a whole tour through all the police circles in my closest area, and they actually found my wallet. I entered that like box which had like 3 police officers in it on like 2 square meters, and one of them had a cat in his arms, and he was like, are you searching for a cat? And I was like, no, I'm looking for a cat themed like wallet. And he was like, oh yeah, we got one of that as well. And they actually found the wallet. Like there was actually a person in Japan who found the wallet somewhere on the floor and was like, I'm gonna pick that up and bring that to the police station, totally intact. There was nothing missing. All of my money was there, all of my credit card was there, like my Suica was there, fully loaded the way that it was. So I just was really lucky. Like this is Japan, I guess. Like nobody else in the world could have happened like that. And then I spent the day today just lying in bed, contemplating life, and then I went on a big walk and had good food and stuff, which was also great. But yeah, I guess things can't get worse now, but I also don't want to jinx myself, so knock on wood, I guess. Yeah, this is the place in the podcast where we have Japanese sweets or snacks time, I guess, because I want to make place in each podcast to try like a snack with you. And today we have Atsukimonaka, which is like a monaka with sweet red bean paste from Hokkaido, actually. I'm excited. I kind of like this stuff. We're gonna open it now. Sorry for all the audio-only listeners right now. Let's see, how do I even open this? Here. There was a thing to open it. I'm going to describe it for the audio-only listeners. It's like this really soft, flaky cake, and it has like bean paste in it. Sweet red bean paste from Hokkaido. Cheers. Wow. I thought it was going to be crispy, but it's not crispy at all. It's kind of like if you know these like fish with the red bean paste in it. It's kind of like if you know these fish with the red bean paste in it. Yeah, that's what it's like. Oh, it's so flaky. But really good. I'm gonna give it a snack score. We're gonna have a hugging snack score. This gets 8 hugs out of 10. So we're off to a good start. I want to try more weird things the next podcast, you know? Like try myself through actually fun stuff. Because Japan has a lot of really fun and yummy things. Actually, this might actually move up to like... No, we're gonna leave it at 8. I think there's better things to come. Yeah. Anyway, these were like my first 3 days in Tokyo so far. I guess you could say that they were kind of crazy and all over the place. I'm not gonna lie, I did have moments where I was lying in bed like, I'm just gonna fly home. This isn't worth it. Why am I still doing this? But I'm still here because I'm going to remind myself the whole time that I'm here. I'm here because it's a dream of mine. I'm here because I fought for this. I'm here because I studied hard for this. And I'm here because I want to experience this. I'm here because I want to learn Japanese. And all of these things that I experience right now, if anything, they were great Japanese practice. And also, I want to get in touch with locals. Like, I did get in touch with, like, 20 police officers in the last few days. And, I mean, the school year only starts. Like, university is still coming, and I can still make a lot of friends, you know. I'm already talking to people, like, over Bumble Friends, which I think is a great way to make friends abroad. And, yeah, I think it can only go up from here. And everything right now turned out to be a happy ending, so I'm glad with how things went. Anyway, this is it for the first episode, I guess. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you had a blast as well, like listening to my weird stories. I swear sometimes my life feels like a movie. I guess now I can at least recount it as one. I hope you're all doing well wherever you are. And as always, I'm sending out a million virtual hugs. I mean, this podcast is called Hugging because actually hugging was once like a thing that I made up with a few friends. I was like hugging, and hugging for me meant doing a pinky promise. So yeah, I'm sending out virtual hugs, but also like pinky promise. I'm going to be here again, and we're gonna continue this with more snacks and more stories and more fun times. So yeah, until then, until next time, bye, and be back on this podcast.